Welcome back, everyone, from the break. We are here with round number 6, and we now have Hard to Communicate versus AsianSquad. And we just saw AsianSquad in the previous series. Unfortunately, fall short, but they will try their luck once again against a new opponent. I am What You Got, your main shoutcaster, and only shoutcaster for this one, as my trusty sidekick in crime, Doze_TV had to step away. Maybe he will come back to join us for the next one, but we will see. I will be doing a solo cast here, but have not to fear. I have done this many times before. Hopefully I will make you all proud with the solo cast here, and I will take it away. The bans almost completed here. We have the Bushwhack, only Bushwhack, not the Bushwhack, sorry. Accursed and Icor going to be banned out here by our captain Whoop-G. And then we have Alina Prime banning out Magmus, Soul Reaper, and Jerazaya, as he is going to be facing the second pick here. Doesn't want to give any of those over to our Hellborn side. And a lot of attention to the Icor this tournament. It's not a hero that we really see very often getting banned in the Pro League, but we have seen some good performances from the Icor today, so these players did not want to let the Icor through. And I will say, I think everything else looks pretty reasonable as far as a blind ban is concerned. So Whoop-G gonna take his time here, think about what he wants for that first pick. And I'm not even gonna throw any guesses out. I really have no idea. He's gonna go with the Madman. So they want to get their hands on the Madman. But there's a pick of Flux and Balfagor. Okay, so it's not NG Flux, but it's Flux Balfagor. It's up there in terms of power level. And I believe this Legion side is a team that does love to run Balfagor. So they're going to get their hands on that before it potentially gets banned away. They only get 2 picks before the second banning phase comes out. So if they wanted that Balfagor, they had to take it right here and right now, otherwise they might not get to see it. So let's see what our Hellborn side responds with. They know what's coming. It's not going to be any secret that there's a wombo combo in the works here of Flux and Balfagor. So what will they value here as their choices? 50 seconds on the clock. What would Whoop-G be thinking about here? Other than maybe some Swedish meatballs, perhaps? I have no idea what's on his mind. They're shadow picking a Plague Rider. Plague Rider could definitely be a pretty good option here. That is actually a hero that gets a lot of attention as well in Pro League. Gets banned very frequently, but also picked in the first picking wave, so they want to run like a Plague Rider dual mid or something, for example. Could make a lot of sense. And then they would have that Plague Carrier to deal with the Balfagor pushes. They're going to go with Nymphora and Wretched Hag. So they pick up main support and most likely the mid laner here in the Hag, which brings early teamfight presence against those Flux Balfagor teamfights. Not really a whole lot of wave clear, though, to deal with the Balfagor minions at the moment. So something I think that they should be looking into picking up. But they have not done it just yet. We see the Behemoth, the first ban coming out from Legion, which is very scary to go up against when you're running a like a combo push style lineup. You don't want to see a Behemoth with a portal key on the opposing side. So that ban makes some sense here. The first ban will be Swiftblade. And again, this is a hero I think would have made a lot of sense for Whoop-G to pick up for his team. But having already ran the Madman, probably can't fit the Swiftblade in the draft. So there, we'll just go ahead and ban it to not want to deal with that. We have the Lord Self Forest coming up. And the Predator, which another ban that makes a lot of sense is there are 2 strength cores in both the Flux and the Balfagor. Predator with a built-in Stonehide, very good at fighting these lineups as well. And the Engineer getting banned out from Whoop-G, which is something that I thought they would pick with the Flux instead of the Balfagor. So definitely don't want to give them NG Flux and Balfagor. That would be very hard to play against. And they also get rid of Keeper of the Forest, which is something that Hard to Communicate ran in one of the earlier rounds today, which we did cover. So the Keeper ban actually makes some sense. They're going to go with a Demented Shaman. First pick out of the gates here. Very good to pair with the Balfagor. Massive heal bomb damage potential with the Corpse Conversion Balfagor creeps. And not only that, but it's just a very solid support option that we've seen picked from the Pro League as well. So a very top tier level support hero. Gonna make those team fights very strong for his team as well with the Storm Cloud and the heals and the cape. So good pick overall. They're gonna use some overtime here to try to think about pick number 4. If they want to run a carry or if they want to run this Balfagor all-in strategy, they're gonna go with a Plague Rider here. Wow, that is a lot of team fight presence. I'm scared for Hellborn, actually. I don't want to see that if I'm playing in Hellborn. I don't even know what they're gonna do here to try to combat this. If there's any strong anti-push heroes they can pick up, or what they want to do here. But they're looking for, I would think, another support as well as an offlaner. And they're going to have to pick them both up now. 9 seconds on the clock. What are they going to be? Kraken. Very good teamfight hero. They're going to go with Draconis. They're going to run a 4-core lineup like they have been running quite a lot today, actually. They ran a jungle Draconis as well as a jungling Ophelia. And I guess the Ophelia not really on the table this game, as there's a Plague Rider, arguably the hardest counter in the game to an Ophelia. So instead they go for a Draconis as a jungle option, which is very good at dealing with pushes. He has AoE, he can fly to towers to defend them. Makes a lot of sense. I'm just a little worried that they have too many farmers here because they pick up a Kraken and a Hag. These are two solo laners that definitely want to have a lot of farm, whereas they could have picked something that maybe didn't require as much farm to be effective. But if they can hit those timings, they will be very, very strong. I just foresee it becoming an issue of getting to that point. They're going to expect a lot out of Draconis this game, to be farming fast and then also rotating and setting up kills. He will also need an early Shrunken Head, I would say, going up against Balfagor Plague Rider. There's just no way around it. You get caught by this combo, you're just going to get melted. So the last pick, they are going to pick up a carry, not going to all in the Balfagor strat. I think that's the correct call here. So they will have some kind of DPS to fall back on, and that will be the Malikan. So a Malikan coming out against this 4-core lineup from AsianSquad. Let's see how this one plays out. Definitely different styles than maybe what we're used to seeing, but I think both sides have potential to take this one here. See who can execute their lineup better, and whether or not it comes down to teamfight overpower from the Legion side, or if it comes down to that gank / split push style that Hellborn's kind of picking up here. We're gonna have a vote to pause come out. So one player is reconnecting. I expect this to be an offlane Kraken and a mid Hag, but it could very well be like it could even be like Nymph Madman mid, and they could say farm their carry in mid lane. They could run the Kraken solo shore or the Hag solo shore, and vice versa in the long lane. I definitely think you probably, if you had to choose one of these heroes to have, like, the, as Doze calls it, the blender lane, I would say you probably want Kraken to have the blender lane. I think Hag is just more valuable with the farm. She can do a lot more, constant blinking in, sonar screaming. Kraken is definitely a hero that can take over mid game when he gets his core items, but I think the Hag playing from behind is not something they were really looking to have here. So probably sticking Kraken into the blender lane would probably be the best option for them. And The Legion team here. I'm not sure how they're going to want to lane this, but at first glance, I think I would expect the Malikan to go to the short lane. I think that's his best bet. Don't really want to run Malikan in long lane. It's too risky because he doesn't really have the best early levels for laning. They could definitely run the Flux long lane, maybe with like maybe with the Demented Shaman even, and then run the Balfagor the Plague Rider mid. But they might just run like Balfagor Demented Shaman long. I actually have no idea how they're going to do this. It's very possible to run Malikan mid and Balfagor in the short lane to just get the snowball going. But I don't think they should really do that. Actually, you know what? I'm actually forgetting something. They ran this Balfagor jungle earlier today, so it might just be offlane Plague Rider and jungle Balfagor, and then Flux mid. I actually think that's what they're going to do. And then run the Demented Shaman supporting the Malikan. Which is going to allocate more farm across the board, and they'll probably be able to get away with it since the other team is also running a jungler. Which is interesting because we're seeing a lot of jungle today, and we don't normally see this. Another pause comes out, this time for Hellborn. Somebody crashed apparently. So we'll see here. So with both sides, if they do end up running it like 4 cores with both running an offlane and a jungler, it's going to mean that overall across the board on both sides, there's going to be a lot of farm distributed, which normally we're used to seeing just 2 to 3 players with a lot of farm and the rest of the team very low GPM. But when you run setups like this, it spreads out the farm a lot more. And seeing as how both sides are doing it, I expect the GPM charts to be quite high early game across the board. And the nice thing here for Hellborn is that Draconis farms much faster than Balfagor early game. If he gets the stacks, he can farm those quickly. Balfagor, on the other hand, wants to farm single camps and just slowly level. He doesn't want to try to take jungle stacks early, as he's not really able to do that the same way. So the grid might actually end up working out more in the favor of Hellborn, at least for the early game. But once the mid game comes around, that's when I think Legion will look to try to group up and take team fights. And Hellborn will need to try to split the map and get to their key items. If they try to fight too early into Legion, that could be troublesome. Malikan and Demented Shaman. Bottom lane against... It's going to be the offlane Madman. So they're going to be sticking Madman into the long lane, sacrificing his early start to give Kraken priority farm with the Nymphora top lane. So they're going to be expecting Whoopji to have a very good early game to make space for the Madman to recover. And then the Wretched Hag going into the mid lane, I think, is the correct call here. So he can also have a good game going up against the Flux, which I think this matchup is Flux favored. He can bully the Hag early game. Already a lot of pressure coming in level 1. This is just a Magnetic Surge harass with auto attacks. And even with the Haunt leveled up, Hag can't really lane here. She's got to play more or less pretty passive. Both sides trading a lot of harass. Neither side has a health potion yet, so I think they will start to send more regen out. See, Draconis stacking up the jungle. It's gonna have 2 double stacks to work on. Both junglers still level 1 for now. Madman, how's he doing down bottom? He's got 2 last hits, mostly just running in and out with stock, trying to get last hits where he can. He has 2 Lunar Tears, so he has more mana at his disposal. And Plague Rider is level 2, just like the Madman. Gets lane control with his Extinguish. Kraken and Nymphora, I do think could easily kill this Plague, but maybe not just yet. Nymph is going to counterward the pull camp here, which was blocked by Plague Rider. Very common things from Plague Rider to block that, as that's what allows Plague Rider to not really have a good time. So good job from Nymph to counterward that. I think he might have actually blocked the camp though with the Rev Ward. He did. Bottom lane Madman goes down. I'm a little surprised that Malikan and Demented Shaman could kill a Madman, but I guess Madman overplayed it or got caught. Balfagor even going to farm the full camp down here, gets level 3. Draconis now, he has some stacks to work on. This should get him level 4 to 5 I'm not sure if these are actually, yeah, they are triple stacks. Okay, so he should get level 5 here once he cleans these up. This is where he starts to out-farm the Balfagor. Right now they're both level 3. Managed Shaman comes in mid lane to assist the Flux a little bit, give him some heals, and then we'll hang him around in the area. Hag doesn't have mana for Blink, and that's going to be the kill. One auto attack helps to get Fallen, one the kill on the Flux. And Flux is 12 and 4 against an 8 and 2 Hag, and now with the kill, 365 GPM versus 150. So the kill puts him about 200 GPM above. He comes back into the mid lane, puts pressure on the Flux, but Flux has the bottle already. And again, Hag is very low on life. She's trying to farm to her bottle. She needs another 115 gold. And Flux with the 2 bottle charges, he could look to kick the Hag out of lane here. Just walk uphill and pressure him. Draconis, I think it should be level 6 already. Still working on these same camps. I feel like something went wrong here. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I think it should have already been level 6. So, gonna stack this and get the top rune, which is fine because Hag doesn't even have her bottle yet. Hopefully gets lucky and gets the rune. It will be a haste rune, so he's thinking about popping it here. Plague Rider doesn't have... Oh, he does have a TP actually. He's gonna TP away. He actually wastes the haste rune, unfortunately. He's gonna go back to jungle probably. Continue to farm. But that's very unfortunate because he could have held that rune a bit longer and used it to set up a kill maybe on the Flux, for example, which would have been a big help to Hag. She's struggling really hard right now. Gets her bottle delivered. The Managed Shaman almost died bottom. I missed that. A lot of pressure coming in from the Madmen somehow. The Nymphora is now down here as well. She's not really needed to be top. I think she might have spotted the Balfagor. She gets a ward down. Cheeky ward coming in from Nymphora there. Balfagor is level 5. Almost level 6. He's not that far behind the Draconis, honestly, which... I feel like there should be a bigger XPM gap than this between the two junglers, but level 6 gonna come around the corner from this Wild Hunter creep. And he bought boots earlier when I watched him play jungle Balfagor, so he might look to do that again and then start trying to set up ganks. Hag forced to blink away mid lane, and Plague Rider very low on life. Kraken almost got the kill there. Didn't use the release the Kraken, so Plague Rider will go back to base. Draconis is here mid lane in the area, but he shows himself when Flux is playing very defensively. I'm surprised by that. He could have been a little bit more patient. Instead, he'll decide to go stack the jungle and camp the top rune. Malikan picks up Helm of the Victim, so this could be either an Insanitarius or a Whispering Helm. I think the Insanitarius probably would make more sense here as a first item to bulk up his strength and damage output as well. But he might opt for the Whispering Helm depending on if he wants to rotate into the jungle. They do have a Balfagor in there though, so I think the Insanitarius makes more sense. Very slow game, only 2 kills so far. Nymphora getting sword throwed on. Madman not really able to help here. in any way. He might actually fall as well. He's forced to stalk away. He'll be fine. Pops the health potion. But the Nymphora coming down here, bottom, not really achieving a whole lot. Draconis has a ward on him. Plague Rider sees him as he just places the ward of sight. He might spot the Draconis warding. Yeah, he will. So he knows that the Draconis warded here. Shows himself as well. Throws down Cataclysm. Here comes the Flux pull. Draconis gonna get... Kraken's gonna charge the Flux. They have enough damage here. The Hag is here in the area. And he will go down. They might actually be able to take out the Plague Rider as well. So the numbers advantage here favored Hellborn. And the Flux, who was having a great game, ends up falling. Both sides should have an idea that there's wards here now as they kind of engaged each other in Fog of War. Meanwhile, Belphegor is bottom. Pushes the tier 1 tower, now already putting pressure on the tier 2. This tower is half HP. And the only hero that they can really counter push this effectively with is Draconis, so he comes down bottom. Still only level 7 with Red Marchers. Does pick up the Soul Trap here. But 300 GPM is not really where you want to be as Draconis at this part of the game. Definitely going to be critical here. He could have been probably around level 10, I would say, with like 450 to almost 500 GPM, just for numbers' sake. But he hits level 8 here. Belphegor with 1,000 gold. I do think he'll be going Energizer. He's not buying the parts, but I think he'll probably just right-click it when he has enough gold. That is 1,400 gold. So it needs 200 more. Imba Pingu, aka Pingers, level 7 on the Hag, goes for a bolstering armband, so it doesn't buy Marchers even. He wants the stats. Going up against the Flux here. Veiled Rot on the Plague Rider. The Restrain comes in, stops Hag from blinking, and that's a Plague Carrier. Plague Carrier with the assistance from Flux. Didn't need the pull even. We'll take him out. Draconis trying to find a target. Not really able to pick and choose who he wants to go for, but Kraken is here, and they end up getting the Plague Rider kill. Defensive Discharge was used, not able to save him in time. So currently we have a 1,200 gold for Legion, and that is mainly due to just the 3 heroes with farm on Legion overall, all above 300 GPM. Malakin at 406, not really that impressive overall, even with a 2-0 score, but he does have 54 creep kills. Kraken is actually the top farmer in the game at 442 GPM. So again, everyone just kind of resets back into their lanes. Top rune will be bottled by Flux, which is an Invis rune. Beats Draconis to it. He's going to walk there and say, hey, what's going on here? There's no rune. But he will show himself in the mid lane. Very interesting skill build here from Pingu. He goes for 3 into Haunt and 3 into Sonar Scream. So he's not really maxing any of his abilities and only has level 1 Blink, which is very long cooldown at level 1. It has a 12-second cooldown. Malakin finishes Steam Boots, has parts to Incendiaries. Doesn't have it finished yet, but probably just around the corner about to finish it. Mid lane, Belphegor rotates in. They want to pressure this tier 1 tower. Glyph was used. It is now down. And tower is below half-life. Here comes the team support though. Kraken charges up the Flux. He has the Invis room, but he's stuck in the Whirlpool. Here comes the Flux pull into the Belphegor Hell on Newerth. Flux goes down. The Belphegor goes down as well. The combo was there, but they didn't have the rest of the team support to finish off the kills. So they were about half-life, but they just can't bring down a target. The Plague Rider also didn't have Plague Carrier for that fight. So he actually gets caught and goes down as well. And the only victim here was the Nymphora. So a 3-for-1 trade, very much favoring Hellborn, gets them some momentum back into the game. And they also now take a golden experience lead. Oh, Kraken buys an Energizer. WhoopG doing WhoopG things. Doesn't go for the portal key, wants some early build-up. It's pretty interesting to go for an Energizer as a Kraken. Get some push presence as well as some move speed to kind of get in position for a charge. Flux currently stalking the Kraken with an Invis rune. DD rune is going to be picked up by the Shaman here. Nymph tried to stun him up, not in time. Kraken charges forward. They do take out the Shaman, and then they are going to counter kill the Kraken, so a better trade come in the way of Legion as they also get the Nymphora down, and now Hag is in some trouble. 3 more seconds on the blink, but he didn't level it up. It's only level 1, so he does go down. If that was a higher level blink, he would have had it up again in time. But Pingo is being a little greedy there, only 1 point into the Flash of Darkness. So now Legion had their turn to counter with 3 kills for 1 and only lost their Demented Shaman. Malikan now with the finished Incenitarius. Gonna have that at his disposal. The Madman, not really doing too bad. 256 gold per minute. Has a Soul Trap and a Chalice. I'm not really sure what he's going to build this game. If they're going to want to build him like a carry Madman, or if they're going to want to build him as more of like this utility Madman. Nymphora gets caught here in the jungle. She goes down to Plague Rider and Balfagor. I think that was a Plague Carrier ultimate coming out. That one is on cooldown. Probably just trying to get a ward up and ran into a lot of Legion heroes. There was some team support in the area, but they didn't really want to invest into a team fight. Draconis is going for the Dreamcatcher. He needs 200 more gold to finish it. Bottom lane, we have a lot of heroes in the area here. Kraken and Hag. Kraken's gonna charge away, pops the Energizer. They don't have a tower, only the tier 2 one is up. So they had to get out of there. Rune will spawn top, another invisibility. This will go into Draconis. "16 kills in total in 14 minutes. It's not a lot, but it definitely feels like a slower paced game than some of the other ones we've covered today. I think nothing really beats the Thai versus Philippines match where the Bubbles had like 20 kills in 20 minutes and was 700 GPM. That's, so far that one's got my MVP of the day, but this one a little bit slower. Teams are, again, both sides are running like 3 to 4 cores, so they're prioritizing a lot of farm across their team. So it definitely makes sense that the game is being played this way. Malikan farming some jungle stacks. Hag will blink away from Flux in the mid lane. With Malikan in the jungle now, it's a little bit interesting where Balfagor wants to go, because they're not really looking to take fights just yet, but there's also not really space for him to farm. So he's only sitting at 300 GPM on the Balfagor. I think he's going for a Gnomes. He picked up Vestment. Maybe not. Maybe he'll just keep the Vestment and the Ring of the Teacher. But I think I remember him buying that earlier today. He might do the same thing here. Draconis with the Invis rune, kind of testing the waters out a little bit, running around. Madman finishes his Steam Boots, has another 1300 gold saved up. He's been kind of sitting up in this top lane for a while now, just trying to soak some farm, but hasn't really gotten himself off the ground per se. A big pickup coming in from Legion is a portal key on the Flux, and they have Astrolabe finished on the Plague Rider. They might be sort of ready to take a team fight now. Draconis leads the way on the Flux, sets up a breath. Here comes the Nymph's Zeal stun. Kraken comes in with the Energizer, charges up the Flux. They take him out. Volcano is down and release the Kraken on the Malikan. Can he hold his ground though? The heal's not going to be enough. He ends up falling, but here comes the Plague Carrier bouncing back and forth. The double tap comes out for Plague Rider. There is going to be Haunt. Nope, it's gonna nope, Madman's gonna be fine. Oh, it ends up being a 3 for 2 as Kraken also fell at the end of that fight. Or actually at the beginning, when the Malakin died. Balfagor still alive means they're going to be able to push the tower. They take out tier 1, force the glyph on the tier 2. And that could definitely be another tower as well. So that one will go toward the Legion. The lead is now 5,700 gold. Make it 5,800. And even though Malakin died, it was his first death of the game, he still remains the king of the GPM chart here at 490. Where it's into the bottom lane, will continue to defend his tower. Picks up an Elder Parasite, which is probably why he was dying so fast in that last fight as well. And now he will be working towards his Shrunken Head. He picks up a Mighty Blade. Probably will focus his attention toward finishing that before they look to take any more fights. Balfagor, though, he's got other plans. He finishes the Gnomes, he's up in the top lane, wants to put some pressure, but we can see here that this might not go for free. Hellborn team is rotating over. Here comes a Flux pull into a Balfagor. HoN Newerth, they take out the Madman. The Kraken is very low. That's the Vestment's not going to keep him alive, though. They do take out the Flux before or after he gets the double tap. And the Plague Rider carrier, I don't think really did the most bouncing back and forth. There's still 3 players alive here. For the Hellborn side, they take out the Plague Rider and ends up being a 3 for 2 fight. This is without the Demented Shaman and the Malakin at all. So it was more or less a 3 versus 5. And they were able to still get 2 for 3 in a very low numbers game for the Legion side there. So once they can get the Malakin and the Shaman to join those engagements, they're going to be much, much stronger. So even with the Plague Carrier not really getting the most bounces, hero damage chart says Plague Rider has 16% hero damage. So he is doing his thing. Pressing R, pressing Q, restraining people, he's doing it all. And he's been doing it very well, even though maybe some of the last couple of fights didn't have the best bounces. The next one behind him is Hag, then followed by Draconis and Kraken. So the second, third, and fourth highest damage dealers are over to Hellborn. We could have a Kongor attempt here from Legion. They're in the area. They're going to start it. After Malakin cleans up the Ancients with his ultimate. They are going to try this. I think they should be able to do this quite easily. And Hellborn is very spread out across the map. I don't think they even have an idea that this is happening. So this one will go uncontested. Oh. I think Malakin needs just the recipe to finish Shrunken, and then they should be probably good to go. Hag does a good job of split pushing the bot lane. Picks up a Gnomes for herself as well. Let's see if she decides to go into a Grimoire. Madman getting caught here in the top lane. Got Portal Keyed on by the Flux. Silenced up by the Balfagor. Not a whole lot he can do there. Malakin's gonna run into Kraken. Oh boy! Or is it Kraken? It's Kraken who needs to fear for his life, even with Nymphora there. That is not a fight you want to take. So the push continues after the Madman kill. They get the tier 1 tower in the top lane. Draconis trying to secure himself his Shrunken as well, working on a stacked Ancient Camp. And they are just not able to defend these towers right now, even with only being in a 6,000 gold deficit. They're gonna maybe try though. Kraken charges up the Balfagor here. Does he get his spells off? Plague Carrier comes out. Did get HoN Newerth off. The Plague Carrier is still bouncing. Whoopsie almost dies. 50 life on him. The tower did go down to Balfagor as he sacrificed himself. They didn't lose any other casualties. So I would say they still got what they came for. Really gonna come at that big of an expense as well. And had they gotten that Kraken kill, that would have been quite something. Being able to get the tower and a Kraken, but whoop-gee, 50 life, he did the math. He knew he was fine. And he stays alive. Madman with 2,500 gold. I really don't know what he's gonna go for this game. I feel like he needs some kind of a farming tool. He might be going for a mock. But man, they're gonna have to stall out this game because he's gonna need Shrunken as well. And Malikan just hit his timing. He's got the Shrunken Head, he's got Insanitarius, Elder Parasite. He's dealing pretty good damage right now. Able to cleave up this creep wave here. They're gonna try to clean up this remaining outer tower. This is the last one. Couple more hits from the Malikan. He has Shrunken ready to go. Good deny coming in from Whoop-G. He has the Tsunami Charge so that he can get to safety. So he's feeling pretty confident. He has a Mighty Blade, so he's going for a Shrunken himself. The lead does grow here, even though the tower did get denied to 7,400 gold. Experience is honestly not that big of a gap though. 1,800 experience gap, not really that much. But there's 3 outer towers remaining that Hellborn can take from the Legion side, which would definitely cut this gap by quite a lot. Hag goes for a Light Brand, gonna go for the Grimoire Power. I'm not really surprised by this, but still gonna be very vulnerable up until he gets that Shrunken timing. And Draconis getting very close to his Shrunken, but not really the biggest threat this game. He's very high level, level 15. Top farmer in his team, but he's still not really like this big damage output threat. The Hellborn Conqueror will be stolen here by the Legion. Not really anything that they can do to fight this, as they're just too far behind. I don't even think they had vision of this. Good counter warding coming in from Legion on all the pillars. They had vision as well. They're gonna try to break the base here. There's a barrier idol picked up on the Flux. Belphegor with the barbed armor ready to go. They force out the glyph. Tower is half HP. Wombo combo ready to go. We'll see if they jump in with the Flux and try to do a combo here. Kraken doesn't have Shrunken yet, but he's smoked up. Gets it broken. Silence comes out on the Plague Rider. The Rex is under fire now as the tower did die. Malikan's doing huge damage here. Here comes the combo! Do they get any victims? Plague Rider carrier bouncing back and forth. Draconis 1 HP. They're gonna take out the Draconis, the Nymphora, and the Hag. It's a hat-trick coming out for Belphegor. He got all the cleanup kills. And meanwhile, they did dump everything onto the Malikan in the background. They did take him out, but they lost the full set of Rex. Lux trying to make the escape on out of there. He's got Dreamcatcher on him. Sitting on 160 life. He's gonna be fine. Getting heals from the Diminished Shaman. As Draconis ports in, trying to go for the kill. It's not enough damage though. Draconis is not really dealing that much damage, unfortunately. So that was actually, I think, a buyback. Yeah, that was a buyback coming in from the Draconis, as well as the Madman. So, big picture here is team fight secured by Legion, rack secured, and 2 buybacks forced out onto the Hellborn team. Not going to be ideal here for the Hellborn side. They don't get any of their Shrunken Heads finished yet. Madman sitting with a lot of gold, wasn't able to pick an item to really buy, and that also hurting their chances of trying to win a team fight. He's just sitting on a whole lot of gold, but it's also not really like an easy choice, I would say, for him. I mean, he could go for a Shrunken, sure, but it's not really going to do a whole lot. It's just going to prevent the nukes from the Plague Rider and the Belphegor. He's not really going to be able to deal damage or get any kills. They're just so far behind right now. Belphegor and Plague Rider in the top lane. They want to try to set up a kill on this Hag. The Restraint comes in. Plague Carrier bouncing. Belphegor creeps, attacking. And they're going to kill the Hag there. Burning only 1 ultimate. Plague Rider, I believe, just got Staff Legacy upgrade. And I'm pretty sure that means Belphegor is getting staffed. And good luck. Kraken, huge damage coming in from Malikan. Picks up Shieldbreaker level 1. Whoop-G, looked like a Glacius there on Kraken. He just melted in like 4 to 5 hits. That was fast damage coming in from the Malikan. And I think this could be another Rax push here coming in from Hard to Communicate. I mean, I just don't see any way that Hellborn's gonna stop this push. They got the barrier idol up. They got the Astrolabe used. Tower is down. Malikan's hitting like a damn truck right now. DD on the Madman, but it doesn't matter. He's still holding 3k gold. He's not buying anything. The Rexes are gonna fall. They just cannot contest this. L on Newerth, maybe? There it is with the staff into the front, following up the Flux pull. It's a hatchet coming out for Malikan. He cleans up all the kills. Bat Blast gonna be dodged here. As Madman uses the second buyback. Ag tried to get a good Bat Blast, but it just doesn't matter. Quad kill comes out for Malikan. Kraken goes in. Can he make an annihilation? No! Kraken takes him out. Whoop G flexing on Malikan there. He's gonna go down to Flux, but big picture, Rack's dead. Another genocide. That's gonna do it. Concede vote comes out from the Hellborn side. And hard to communicate. We'll take this one.